All right, for more on the Trump agenda, let's go to Nebraska GOP Senator and former two-time governor of Nebraska, Pete Ricketts. Senator, thank you for taking time. I want to pick up right there where Lucas left off with Greenland. You know, just 6 months ago or more, no one would ever even thought we'd be talking about Greenland, but yet here we are, and President Trump had remarks here that made it pretty clear this is of interest to him. Listen.
We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can. If you look at Greenland right now, if you look at the waterways, you have Chinese and Russian ships all over the place. And we're not going to be able to do that.
Senator, do you agree? What's your thoughts on Greenland?
What the president is highlighting is the security risks we have from, as he highlighted, you just said, the Russian and the Chinese, and wants to draw greater attention to this. And one of the things I always encourage our allies and frankly everybody else is, look past the rhetoric and look to the actions. When we're talking about how we secure the United States, that's what the top agenda item for the president. He is looking to take specific steps to make that happen. It's one of the reasons why I believe Vice President Vance went to Greenland to highlight that we have troops in Greenland right now. And this is something that's going to be important for protecting our country. And in doing so, we're going to be protecting Greenlanders as well.
And as a member of the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee, does Congress have a role to play here?
Well, what I think the president is going to do is look to make some sort of accommodation with Denmark and Greenland with regard to how we can improve the security there. And that's why I say to folks, look past the rhetoric, look at the actions, and let's give the president the opportunity to be able to work on this. I mean, we're about 3 months into his administration. He's got a lot on his plate, but national security is at the top of that list. We got to give the president the opportunity to be able to work through his strategy to be able to put the things in place to keep our country secure.
Senator, let me switch gears a little bit to what Lucas Thompson was also talking in that report, and that is Liberation Day, April 2nd, expected heavy tariffs coming. What do you make of the tariffs?
Again, this is an attempt by the president to make our country stronger. The average weighted tariff on products that we charge when they come into our country is 1.5%. So if a foreign country ships us something, on average, we charge it about 1.5% tariff. The average weight of tariff of the tariffs other countries charge us is 6%, which means it's 4 times higher than our tariffs. Now, this was a system we put in place back right after World War II with Bretton Woods as an agreement to basically help other countries as they were building after World War II and make them our allies to fight the Soviet Union. Well, the Soviet Union fell 35 years ago, and we never changed that system. Our allies have gotten used to getting good deals when it comes to these tariffs. The president is trying to level that playing field right now to make sure that we're not at a disadvantage. He also wants to reshore manufacturing. That's a good thing. And I think as you played in that clip a little bit earlier, he wants to make sure we've got critical supply chains in our country, whether it's going to be aluminum, steel, pharmaceuticals. He understands that we cannot be reliant on other countries, and specifically, we cannot be reliant on communist China the way we were during COVID. So this is, again, part of the president's agenda to make our country more secure.
But are you concerned, Senator, as many critics are saying that it could increase prices from everything from what we buy at the grocery store to the gas pump and elsewhere?
Well, and trade is important to my state of Nebraska. We're an agricultural state. About a third of everything that we grow, produce goes overseas. So we have a keen interest in making sure that trade is going forward. Ambassador Greer, our U.S. trade representative, was speaking to our Republican caucus earlier. He talked about some of the things he's trying to do with the different countries to get them to lower their trade barriers. I certainly think there's going to be some disruption as we go through this. But in the long run, if we can reshore more manufacturing, if we can have even playing fields for our products, there's some of our allies that have very restrictive tariffs on our products going to their countries. We need to get those level. That's going to be, in the long run, the best thing for the American people.
It is interesting, Senator, when we learned this week that not only have 2 of the 3 big car companies bought in on this, but also the UAW. What do you?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that the UAW understands is this is about protecting American manufacturing jobs. And this is, again, it's going to something that's important for our country. We want to have more manufacturing jobs, whether it's in the auto industry, other manufacturing, the trades, you name it. If you look at just building our submarines, we're short. I just heard a podcast where we're short like 100,000 people there. We need to train more people. We need to get more people interested in going into manufacturing and the trades. And by having those jobs available, that'll help create the demand signal for people that there's great careers here, that not everybody needs to go get a 4-year degree, that there's going to be great jobs here and they're going to be here for the long run.
We shall see where it goes. Senator Pete Ricketts, thank you for taking time on Saturday.